ॐ गणानां वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ वृषभं च शनीनां विश्वरूपमदाभ्यं बृहस्पतिं वरेण्यम् ॐ तद्विष्णोः परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवीव चक्षुरा ततम्। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ॐ श्लीं ह्रीं ज्योतिर्ब्राह्माय नमः। And everybody say after me, Hare Ramakrishna 3 times. Om Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna. We will continue with the next 2 nakshatras. If you remember in the last class, Jyothishya and Adra. We read the mantras of Kritika and Rohini in the last class, so I will read Jyothishya and Adra.
Mrugashira or Mrugashira?
Both are same. Mrugashira is the word that is normally found in the Sukam and other scriptures, but people call it Mrugashira today. Shesha means head. Mrugashira means head of a deer. Mrugashira also means the same thing. Shira and Shesha both mean head. So they are basically synonyms. So this is the mantra for Mrugashira, and for this Soma is the ruler, moon basically. For Mrugashira it is moon, is the ruler, and for the next one Ardra it is Rudra, a form of Shiva. So we will read the mantras of Mrugashira and Ardra, and then we will start our class. First Mrugashira, this is a mantra for Soma, the ruler of the Mrugashira nakshatra. Om Somo Raja Mrugashishena Agan Shivam Nakshatram Priyamasya Dhama Apyayamano Bahudha Janeshu Retah Prajam Jajamane Dadhatu Yatte Nakshatram Mrugashishramasti Priyang Rajan Priyatamam Priyanam Tasmai Te Soma Havisha Vidhema Channa Edhi Dvipadesham Chatushpade. Now the next mantra is for Rudra, the ruler of the Ardra nakshatra. Adraya Rudra Prathamana Eti Sreshtho Devanam Patiraghiyanam Nakshatramasya Havisha Vidhema Manah Prajangviri Shanmota Viran Heti Rudrasya Parino Vrunaktu Ardra Nakshatram Jushata Havirna Ramunchamanau Duritani Vishva Apaghasam Sannudatamaratim. Now we will continue with the discussion on Tribhagi Vimshatri Dasha. Does any of you have any interesting charts where you could not explain things, or even charts where you thought you had a nice explanation? The class can see how nice your explanation really is. Class can attack your logic. So either way, whether you think you have a good example or a bad example, if anybody volunteers, we can take up some examples. Pardon?
But one question is this applicable to division annual chart or only for
Tribhagi Vimshatri Dasha? See, any Dasha is technically applicable to all charts, but I haven't really used it that much in the annual Triveda chart because I am happy with Tithi Ashtotri Dasha. So even normal Vimshatri Dasha I don't apply that much in annual charts. So I haven't really used it that much. But One case where I have found this chart very useful was in the mundane charts. When we have the lunar new year chart, like the one Chaitra Shukla Pratipada chart, or even Kartika Shukla Pratipada chart, which is used for timing the finances, timing the financial markets. In those charts, I found this dasha to be very useful. We will talk about it later, but one of the techniques I use for stock market prediction that I taught at Asvidya Gurukulam this year was using Tribhagi Nimshotri Dasha with the Kartika Shukla Pratipada chart. The chart for the day after Deepavali, we make the chart and we use that to predict the stock market for the next year. We discussed this a little bit earlier. So there I use this particular Dasha, Tribhagi Nimshotri Dasha, and then I use transits along with it during the next 1 year to predict. So we will talk about it later. But what I will say is this is applicable to all compressed charts because this is basically a progression through the entire zodiac from the star occupied by moon throughout the zodiac, and you cover all the 27 stars and come back to the same place by the end of the year. So this is applicable to annual charts, all kinds of charts. But I don't have experience in the annual Sipravasha charts of human beings. I only have experience in mundane charts.
The result given by the Vimshotri, suppose I've seen one chart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a prediction I made, but likelihood that there is a marriage can occur within a particular month. That's what I thought the Vimshotri was making sense.
Okay.
But when I look at the Tribhagi Vimshotri, I'm not looking at detail, but it is changing. It's not that it's not making that much sense compared to Vimshotri. So in that case, what?
We have the same issue, whether it is Vimshotri or Narayana Dasha or any Dasha. We have the same issue when we have 5 or 6 different Dashas that we are using. One Dasha may show that he is getting married, another Dasha may show that he is getting divorced, another Dasha may show that he is finding a new girlfriend. So reconciling various Dashas is always a tough issue. So the only correct solution to that problem is to understand what exactly each thing shows. Basically, there is no Dasha that tells you clearly in no unclear terms that he is getting married. It's not like you give a objective questionnaire, he is getting married, he is getting a child, and then the Dasha will basically come and check a few of those. It's not like that. Each Dasha is basically dividing life into various phases and looking at those phases from a different perspective. That is what each Dasha is all about. If you take Vimshotri Dasha, for example, what did we say earlier? It is basically the mental state. As time progresses, how the mental state is evolving. So it is a Dasha that shows things from that perspective. If you say Narayana Dasha, for example, what is Narayana Dasha all about? What is on the ground? What is God? Basically, there is Narayana within you. There is God within you. What kind of circumstances that God is being placed in? So you are not talking about mind anymore. When you are talking about Narayana within you, it's not mind. It's basically the truth, the reality, the ultimate reality. So from that point of view, what is happening on the ground?
Life force behind the mind.
So similarly, you have to understand what is normal Vimshotri Dasha and what is Tribhagi Vimshotri Dasha. Both are based on moon. Both are based on mind. Both are progressions of mind. But there is a difference. One is based on a 120-degree arc of the zodiac. The other one is based on the entire zodiac. So what is the difference? What would you? Just take a guess. Just take an intelligent guess. The normal Vimshotri Dasha is basically, it covers 120-degree arc of the zodiac. Because if you take, let's say, what is your star? Swati. So first Dasha is Rahu Dasha corresponding to Swati. Next, moon progresses to Vishakha, so you have Jupiter Dasha. Next he goes to Anuradha, so you have Saturn Dasha. Like that you have 9 Dasha. So it's basically 120-degree arc. Whereas the Tribhagi Vimshotri Dasha is covering, starting from Swati, going around the zodiac and coming back to Chitra. All the 27 stars are being covered. And the total duration of all the 27 stars is same period, 120 years. But you are dividing 120 years among the entire zodiac instead of dividing it among 120 degrees. So what is the difference between the two?
All the aspects of the mind, not just part of it.
Okay. Okay, good thinking.
More division in the sense that we are subdividing it. And
Okay.
Micro. More division.
Any other thoughts?
Influence of position.
what is necessary?
Yes. What does nakshatra represent? Think along those lines. Is it 9 nakshatras or 27 nakshatras? That is the difference.
Nakshatra.
What is a nakshatra?
You said Vayu. So is a force.
It is the prana, it is the life force. Nakshatras are, moon is an important planet when you are talking about the life force within the person, the energy. Whatever moves us is the life force. The Vayu within us, the prana Vayu within us, that is the life force, that is moving us, that is making things move. So that life force is shown by moon being in various nakshatras. No.
Like, one is obviously at the gap.
Yeah.
The moon is also one of the different kind of form.
Right. Right.
The energy itself is taking
Yes, the mind, moon is basically mind. Whatever you call your mind. Okay. It's actually tough to exactly define it. But let's say you have an idea of something known as your mind. So moon shows that mind. So as moon is progressed through various nakshatras, your mind takes the shape of various stations of energy, stations of Vayu. Nakshatras are various stations of Vayu, various stations of prana, the life force. So when moon is in one of these nakshatras, your mind takes the energy of that particular prana Vayu, of that particular station of prana Vayu. Does it make a little sense? Like sun becomes one of the 12 adityas based on which sign he is placed in. Moon becomes one of the Pranavayus based on one of the stations of Pranavayu based on which nakshatra he is placed in. That is basically the way to look at it. Now, in this particular case, you are going through the zodiac, covering the entire zodiac. So what you are doing is the exact nature of moon, the exact nature of what is moving the mind at that particular time. What kind of life force is within the mind, and what kind of life force is making the mind move, making the mind act, is something that you can find out from the Tribhagi Vinchatri Dasha. Whereas if you take the normal Vinchatri Dasha, the nakshatras are losing significance because you are not covering all the 27 nakshatras. It is still a progression of mind, it is still a progression of moon, but you don't have representation for all the 27 nakshatras. In other words, what is happening is, you don't have an accurate picture of what is the life force that your mind is taking the form of. You don't have an accurate picture of that. And the life force, the form of the life force that mind is being influenced by at a given point of time, it shows in entirety what the mind is doing. Mind is, earlier, sometime back I told you that mind is that through which you experience the world. And I said that Lagna is that through which you act in the world. That was my statement from a while back. But if you really think about it, philosophically, you will realize that mind is not just inert. Mind is not just about experiencing the world. Mind is also experiencing the world, and also whatever actions you take in the world is basically happening because of the mind. Mind is that which is making you move. If mind is not there, if the mind is totally absent, if the mind is totally dead or totally still, you will not be doing anything. Your breath will not be taking place. You will not be moving your hand. You will not be speaking. You will not even be thinking. If there is no mind, you are basically God. If mind is dead, you are basically God. Which means you don't have to do anything, you don't do anything. So mind is the most important thing in our existence. It's not just about experiencing the world. It is the very essence of who you are. It is the essence of how you act. It is that which also controls how you act. Mind is that which controls how you experience the world, how you want to change the world, how you want to experience the world, and how you end up experiencing the world. It is that which controls all your actions and reactions, everything. So when we are talking about that, like you said, just like sun takes the form of one of the Dwadas Adityas, based on the sign he occupies, moon takes the form of a nakshatra. Moon takes the energy of a nakshatra. Each nakshatra being the station of various kinds of life forces. If, for example, if you take Ardra nakshatra, the life force that is governed by the Ardra nakshatra is basically that of the nature of Rudra. Rudra is the governing devata. Ardra, Swati and Satvishak, all the three are Rahu nakshatras as per normal Vimshatridasya. But they are all totally different. The nature of the life force governed by these three nakshatras is totally different. Similarly, if you take the three nakshatras ruled by, let's say, Brahaspati, Punarvasu, Vishakha and Purabhadra, these three nakshatras, even though they are basically Brahaspati nakshatras, they are totally different. The life force has a different form within them. If you take Ardra nakshatra, because it is ruled by Rudra, the nature of the life force there is, what is life force? Life force means the values that are moving you, that are moving your mind, that are making your mind do things, that are making your mind see things, that are making your mind think of, have some desires, cravings, that are making your mind contemplate some action. When your mind contemplates action, Lagna does that action. But it is the mind which actually contemplates all the actions that you engage in. It experiences the world and it synthesizes, it contemplates and synthesizes action. And finally, Lagna is a dumb servant which basically acts. But it is moon who contemplates all the actions that you are going to engage in. So that is the importance of moon. Now the thing is, depending on the nakshatra occupied by moon, the nature of the life force that is moving this mind changes drastically. If moon is in Ardra, the life force which is governed by Rudra, the fiery deity, is that which is moving the mind. So there is lot of fire, there is lot of energy that is moving the mind. Mind can be either very unstable or very, very dynamic, depending on other factors. It can be, every nakshatra shows certain kind of life force. And there is a positive side and a negative side to it. You can't say that Ardra is a bad nakshatra, Pranavasu is a good nakshatra. You can't say like that, because each devata shows certain quality, and depending on how everything else is, depending on the context, that quality can be either good or it can be bad. But bottom line is, Ardra is ruled by Rudra, so it shows lot of fire, lot of fieriness. Whereas if you take the next nakshatra is Punarvasu. Suppose moon is in Punarvasu, then what is the nature of the Vayu, what is the nature of the life force which is governed by Punarvasu nakshatra? Who is the Lord of Punarvasu? Don't ask me, you tell me. I am supposed to ask you. You are supposed to keep quiet. Then I can also answer. The point is, I want them to remember. I said last week, at least a few nakshatras remember, I told them. Jupiter rules what? Wow. What I meant was not the Vishwatri Lord. The Nakshatra Devata, for whom we are doing the mantras every day beginning of the class. Those Devata. Who is the ruler of Punarvasu? Aditi. Okay? Yeah. So, who is Aditi? Mother of all the Devatas. She is one of the wives of Kashyapa Prajapati, and she is the mother of all the gods. All the gods came from her. So what does it mean?
Godliness.
She is high, very, very godly. Very what? Yeah. She gives comfort to all the good qualities within you. Devatas are basically all the good qualities within you. So she is, Aditi within you is that principle from which all the good qualities within you are born. All the good qualities within you are synthesized from that particular principle. That is Aditi. It's a very, very auspicious principle within each person. So, what would be the nature of the life force governed by Punarvasu nakshatra? What would you guess? Will it be similar to Ardra or will it be totally different? Pardon me?
Opposite to Ardra.
Actually, we don't have opposites here. We don't really have a sense of opposite. But it's totally different. Different would be an appropriate word than opposite. Because after all, Rudra is also a god. God. Aditi is the mother of God, Rudra is a God. Rudra himself is a God. But he is a fiery God. Whereas Aditi is the mother of all gods. Fiery gods, energetic gods, relaxed gods, happy gods, sad gods. Well, maybe not sad gods, but she is the mother of all kinds of gods. And just by being mother, she shows comfort, patience, love, etc. So she is the compassion within you, from which all the good qualities within you are born, including your fieriness, including your righteous fieriness. So Aditi, this nakshatra is ruled by Aditi. So the life force, the nature of the life force represented by Punarvasu is very auspicious. It basically makes your mind filled with various good qualities, because it gives birth to good qualities within you. When your mind is there, your mind is influenced by a lot of auspiciousness, very relaxed, very compassionate. So compassionate that various good qualities naturally take birth, naturally take shelter in the mind. So when mind is influenced by Punarvasu nakshatra, and the life force that is moving your mind is that of Aditi, the ruler of Punarvasu, mind will be very relaxed, very calm. All the good qualities will flourish. Not just one kind of good quality, but all the good qualities within you will flourish. So like this, when you take each nakshatra represents life force of a particular nature. So there are 27 or 28 different kinds of life force that can be potentially moving your mind, that can be potentially setting your mind into motion. If mind is not in motion, you don't exist. Because mind is in motion, you exist. All the various activities are taking place in you, including breathing, including thinking. So, yes.
So far, whenever we are doing this thing, we were looking at Lagna and saying that Lagna is Leo, we would say he is the Kartik, he is the Varsity, he is the marriage, we would say he is the Decorative.
Yeah.
But is the focus different from what we are doing so far? But now we are realizing moon in this nakshatra, you can say it means moon in this thing. What is the exact difference?
No, okay, that's a good question. We'll come back to that. Let's finish this stream of thought, finish this question, and then we'll come to your question. So, in this Tribhagi Vimshatri Dasha, you are tracking the nakshatra where progress moon is placed across the zodiac. So, the life force that is driving your mind is basically changing from time to time, and you are covering all the possible life forces, all the 27 or 28 nakshatras you are covering. So, the focus here is on what is moving the mind. What is the life force behind the mind? What is the life force that is moving your mind? That is the focus in Tribhagi Vimshatri Dasha. Because the focus here is on nakshatra. Whereas, in the normal Vimshatri Dasha, you are not going through all the nakshatras. You are only going through part of the zodiac, only 9 nakshatras. Well, you could be also looking at nakshatras, but the thing is, it's not a nakshatra-centric dasha. Even though it's a nakshatra dasha, the focus is on nakshatras. You have abstracted the dasha, and in that, only 9 dashas are basically finding representation. Other 9 dashas will have to just piggyback on those 9 nakshatras. So that is the thing. So even though it is a nakshatra dasha, the focus is not on nakshatra, the focus is just on moon. Whereas in this dasha, the focus is on nakshatra, the station occupied by the moon. That is the focus. So the bottom line is, normal Vimshatri dasha shows how your mind feels as time progresses, etc. Like whatever we have already said, whatever we said so far, that is valid. But in the case of Tribhagi Vimshatri dasha, there is a new dimension coming, which is, it shows what is the life force that is moving your mind. Your mind may be happy or unhappy. Your mind may feel as if you are very powerful or you are very weak. Your mind may feel as though you are very resourceful or not very resourceful. Your mind may feel as though you have a happy marriage or unhappy marriage. Whatever your mind feels, you will see from normal Vimshatri dasha. But in this dasha, Tribhagi Vimshatri dasha, you are seeing why does the mind feel that way? What is moving your mind? What is the life force that is moving your mind at this point of time? What is the life force that is moving your mind on so-and-so date? That is the focus. You are looking at what is behind the mind. What is within the mind, what is surrounding the mind, what is the life force which is resulting in mind going through various thoughts. So it is basically the focus here is on the motivation, on the thing that is moving mind. Whereas in normal Vinshatri Dasa, the focus is how is the mind feeling. When something is moving the mind, mind is experiencing things. So what is it experiencing? So the focus in one Dasha is the experiences of the mind. In the other Dasha is the state of the mind. In Tribhagi Vinshatri Dasha, it is the state of the mind. It is the life force behind the mind.
Why the experience of the mind is a relationship to nothing? Because you're saying regular influence
Yeah.
is the way the mind is experiencing it.
Yeah.
Why the relationship is considered different? You only take the mind without the
I don't have a full satisfactory answer. All I can say is it's not just 120 degrees there also. Even there you can say that you are covering the 360 degrees. For example, in your case, your nakshatra is Swati. So the first dasha is that of Rahu. You can say that it is a dasha of Swati, Shatabhishak and Ardra. The next dasha is that of Vishakha, Purabhadra and Punarvasu. So you can say that all the 360 degrees are finding representation there also. So it is a method where you are progressing the moon through the zodiac, but the thing is at any point moon gives the results of 3 different nakshatras, not just one nakshatra. And but the bottom line is, the point I am making is, in this case you are putting focus on each nakshatra. You are delineating the influence of each nakshatra on the mind at a given point of time. So the focus is on nakshatra, whereas there the focus is just on some abstract progression of moon through the zodiac, where he is still giving the results of all the nakshatras, but you are clubbing 3 nakshatras into one dasha. Just so the focus is more on moon is under Rahu's influence at this point, moon is under Jupiter's influence at this particular time. He is giving the results of Jupiter's nakshatras and so on. So you are basically focusing on which nakshatra. Even though nakshatra, you can speak in terms of nakshatras, because you are clubbing nakshatras together, you are focusing on the planet. Moon is under the influence of, the progress moon is under the influence of Rahu right now. After 18 years, he is under the influence of Jupiter. So that is how you are looking at things in that dasha. And why these particular nakshatra, planetary rulership of nakshatras, why these particular years, I don't have a full satisfactory answer. If you understand that, you will understand why Vinshatri Dasha shows the experience of the mind. If you understand why the dasha is derived in that way, you may be able to appreciate why it shows the experience of the mind. But the bottom line is, just take it for granted for now that all the nakshatra dashas, including Vinshatri Dasha, they show the experience of the mind as time progresses. What is the mind experiencing? And when the mind is experiencing something, it may be experiencing that you are happy. It may be experiencing that you have a wife and you are happy with her. Or it may be experiencing that you have a wife who is mean to you, so you want to stay away from her. Like that, it experiences various things. When the mind is experiencing certain things, the life force that is driving the mind has a role in it. It may decide why the mind experiences something. How the mind experiences it. If mind is experiencing something, how exactly it experiences it. In a very agitated manner or in a very relaxed and calm manner. So that dynamics of the mind, if you want to get a good idea of that, then you better focus on the nakshatras, the 27 stations through which moon is progress. So by combining the two, the normal Vinshatri and the Tribhagi Vinshatri, you can not only find what the person experiences, but the latent state of mind, the inherent state of mind which is driving those experiences. One may be experiencing lot of prosperity, but still he may be agitated. One may be thinking that, oh, I am lucky, but still he may have some restlessness with it. Whereas somebody may be experiencing that he has a lot of problems to overcome, but still he may be very calm about it. He may feel very, very assured. Even though he feels that he has a lot of obstacles that have to be overcome, still he may feel some internal calm. So the life force, the nature of the mind, that which governs the experience of the mind is shown by Tribhagi Vinchotri Dasha, whereas the actual experience of the mind is shown by the normal Vinchotri Dasha itself. So like this, I'll take your question. First let me answer this one. Go back to this question. So, to finish your question, the normal Vinchotri and Tribhagi Vinchotri are not just alternatives. Don't think in terms of, okay, 7th Lord's Dasha is running. Oh, here 8th Lord's Dasha is running. So he will get married as per this Dasha and he will get divorced using this Dasha. That is not exactly the way to use this Dasha. You have to understand what Vinchotri Dasha is, what Tribhagi Vinchotri Dasha is, what Narayan Dasha is, what so-and-so Dasha is, and then you have to combine. They are not alternatives to each other. They are basically different perspectives to look at the same thing from various angles. So if you understand it, you will be able to get into the mind of the person with more success. Even otherwise, you may be able to make some predictions, but you may not be able to get into the mind of the person if you don't understand what is driving that mind. Whereas if you use this Dasha, you understand what is driving that person. So again, the important thing here is, what I want to tell you is, even though I told you earlier that, oh, Sun is in the 7th house, so in the 7th house Dasha I got married, that is a very, very simplistic way to use Tribhagi Vinchotri Dasha. When you want to use Tribhagi Vinchotri Dasha, pay attention to Nakshatra. If somebody is running, for example, I am running Rahu Tribhagi Vinchotri Dasha corresponding to Ardha Nakshatra, my mind is under the influence of Rahu right now. Influence of Ardra right now. So look at Ardra. Look at what is in Ardra. Which sahmas, which planets, which points are in Ardra. That is more important than looking at where Rahu is in my chart. And secondly, in my experience, you can also use the transits along with this. Not only you see Ardra, how is Ardra in the natal chart, see who are in Ardra right now. In the transit, if you want to use Vinchotri Dasha along with transit, this is a very, very useful variation of Vinchotri Dasha. Because the life force that is governing my mind at this point of time is shown by the Ardra Nakshatra. So whichever planets are in Ardra right now, or whichever planets are aspecting Ardra right now, by Nakshatra Drishti or Graha Drishti, they will naturally have an influence of my mental state. Because my moon, my progress moon is in Ardra right now. Do you understand? So, the focus when you use Tribhagi Vinchotri Dasha should be on what is moving the mind. How is mind working at this point of time? What is the motivation behind mind, behind various thoughts? What are driving the thoughts? What forces are driving the thoughts? So to look at that, focus on the nakshatra, focus on who is influencing that nakshatra in the natal chart as well as in the transit chart, the current Tatkala Gochara Chakra. Okay? Now, your question. You had a question. I forgot by now. What is it? You will get it on later. Yeah.
We are all the time focusing with
Moon, Lagna. Yeah.
Now the focus is on where moon is.
Yeah.
So if moon is in Punarvasu and Lagna is in Aries.
Yeah.
Is that not a concept of determining how he is?
Yeah. This question is a variation of what was asked by Rameshwar Rao. This question is Vinchotri and Tribhagi Vinchotri. If there is a conflict, how do we reconcile? Now your question is to determine the nature of the person. If there is a conflict between moon and Lagna, how do you reconcile? The bottom line is, don't look at Lagna and moon as alternatives. Just as I said, don't look at Vinchotri and Tribhagi Vinchotri as two alternatives. You just toss a coin and pick one of them. It's not like that. They are different people. Just like Seshu and Narasimha are different people. They are both same Paramatma. You peel all the layers. If you look at what is really inside us, you and I are the same. But if you look at the manifestation, you and I are different persons. Just like that, Lagna and Moon are totally different. So you have to, before asking how do you reconcile, always ask yourself, are they really the same? Is there a need to reconcile here, or is there a need to delineate what is this and what is this? 99% of the time, when people ask you, how do you reconcile these two factors? It's not a question of reconciliation. It is a question of understanding the exact meaning of this versus exact meaning of that. So, Moon's Nakshatra and Lagna's Nakshatra, or Moon's Rasi and Lagna's Rasi, both have an importance of their own. To understand that, you have to understand what is Lagna, what is Moon. So we have to go back to 101. But it is good to go back to 101 every now and then, because we keep using Moon, we keep using Lagna, but suddenly, after learning so much, we forget who is Lagna, who is Moon. So we have to ask ourselves. And like you said, if you want to say something about the nature of a person, just looking at Lagna and saying, oh, he has Lagna in Aries, so he is a very dynamic person, it's not very, very helpful. That's not very perfect. Also, Moon has a role. Now let's ask, what is Moon and what is Lagna? Who wants to volunteer? Except Narayan. Okay.
Moon is actually the mind, which is there with the lot of discussions.
Yeah.
Then I would try to say, you know, there was Moon and Lagna and mind. With the timeline of the system, Moon shows the way we use it. That case, Lagna is present the shape of the world.
Is Lagna outside of us? Is Lagna, see, let me put it this way. You are experiencing the world, you are receiving, okay, this person is walking, this person is talking, this person is interested, he's curious, this person doesn't care, not you, just saying. All these things, we form experiences. We look around the world, our senses get some signals, we absorb them, this is basically experiencing the world. You are experiencing the world around you, forming certain impressions or experiences. That is stage one. Second stage, you process all those experiences and you decide, I want the world to be this way. I want the world to be changed in this manner. I want my experiences to be this instead of this. So you are doing all these processing of the experiences and forming certain desires, impressions, and also some action items you are creating in your mind. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to behave in this world. This is how I want to influence this world. So all that is still happening in the mind. Mind is not just reaction. It is also the basis of action. The reaction as well as the processing needed for action is mind. And finally, when you decide, I will influence the world this way, you actually go and influence the world in that manner. And further, you need the Lagna. Lagna is that through which you act in the world. Mind is that through which you experience the world and also digest the world and also think of action. Synthesize your action. You experience the world and also synthesize your actions in the world. So mind or mood is that through which you do all these things. So if you want to know what kind of actions the person engages in the world, both moon and Lagna are important, because moon shows how you see the world and how you want to change the world. And Lagna actually shows how you actually change the world. Moon forms the agenda for your actions in the world, whereas Lagna implements that agenda. Moon is basically, you can call himself the legislator. He is the legislator within you. He makes the rules. He makes action items. But the executive wing within you is your Lagna. Okay? Does it make some sense? So, if you want to see what kind of actions the person engages in the world, does he do very aggressive actions, or does he do very mild actions, very calm? What kind of activities does he engage in the world? Is moon important or Lagna, or both? Both. Because moon forms the agenda for the action and Lagna implements that agenda and results in action. So whatever you act in the world is a cumulative of the two factors. Okay? Any other questions? Actually, I have a question.
Could because the chakras are the five, and maybe when you triangulate and freeze them, you get more of the other elements combined. And so one shows the state and the other one shows the more motivation, because you have other aspects and elements being added to that.
That's a good point. And also they say that these trines, each nakshatra has a trine. They basically represent the three gunas. So for each nakshatra, if you look at the trine, one is sattvic, one is rajasic, one is tamasic. So you have basically whatever is driving you, whatever is driving your mind. If your mind is above guna, then you don't exist. You are basically God. You are a Jivan Mukta or you got moksha. You don't exist. But when you are existing, there is some life force which is moving your mind. And that typically takes the nature of three gunas. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So the three influences, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic influences, which are driving your mind at a given point of time, are shown by these three nakshatras. But in the case of Tribhagi, it shows that which is particularly influencing, the strongest influence at this given point of time. So that is why, that is a more appropriate dasha if you want to see what is driving your mind. Okay, that's a good point. Any other questions?
In the Vibhagi especially, the Saturn in the pattern is Savana.
Yeah? Saturn Savana, we never say that. Yeah. But some nakshatra, planet and some nakshatra.
Moon in Savana.
Yeah.
So that moon in Savana, that means it does double impact. So your moon planet is representation of mind. And Savana is progress, moon also is in the moon.
Well, if you look at the display, you will see that it is given in such a way that the nakshatra is ruled by that planet. So for Hasta you get moon, for Chitra you get Mars. So this is actually the graha that rules the dasha and this is the nakshatra. So always if you find Swati, for example, Swati is dasha. There is Swati. Here. Whenever you find Swati, automatically it will only be Rahu. So there is no double impact. It is software basically makes it easy for you. It can just give one of them and expect you to figure out the other. Because there is a one-to-one relationship. Just software makes it easy for you. So don't think that if somebody is under the influence of Sun and Uttara Falguni, don't think, oh, it is also Sun Nakshatra and it is Sun Dasha. So it is double impact. It's not like that. It's a single impact. Any other questions? But I am glad you looked at the list and found the correlation. It is supposed to be that way.
That moon is the mind and Savana is the progress of mind. So both are
See, the way to read this is when this person was born, just a few minutes back this person was born. When this person was born, moon was in Pushyami Nakshatra ruled by Shani. So the mind is under the influence of Shani, but more importantly under the influence of Pushyami. Whatever life force is represented by Pushyami Nakshatra is driving the mind at that point of time. From 2010, mind will be basically influenced by Ashrasha. The life force represented by Ashrasha will be driving the mind. And that is governed by Mercury. But here, like I said, the grahas are less important. In the normal Vimshotri, grahas are more important, nakshatras are secondary. Here, grahas are secondary and nakshatras are primary. So pay more attention to the nakshatra. Okay? Now I want to take some examples. Yes, please. Yeah.
In order for all the planets, like Shani, Anuradha and
Honestly, I have to brush up. I don't recall from the top of my mind. I only remember that in each trine, one is Sattvic, one is Rajasic, one is Tamasic. I don't know if there is a clear pattern or not.
It's telling the case like the first planets are Sattvic and then the next one is Tamasic.
Yeah, I don't fully remember. I have to brush up. So let me mention it in the next class. So you can get that audio. Okay, good. And I will answer later. Let me brush up and answer. Now, any examples? I told you guys to look at your own chart or some other chart and look at a couple of examples. So somebody volunteer and share your chart. We close this and give up. The settings are saved. Who volunteered? Otherwise I have to volunteer somebody. What? Somebody who looked at there is volunteer. Did you look at it? Then how are you better than Sri Ram? Why should I prefer you to Sri Ram? Anybody who looked at their chart and Vibhagi Mukshatri?
I looked at but different angle. I was comparing with...
That's fine. At least you looked at it. You are better than all these guys. Give me your data.
That's the reason I got a confusion between Moon and Savana.
Yeah. He knows that there is a correlation between Moon Dasha and Shravana. Oh, okay. Okay, let me take your chart. Mitnala Ramakrishna Rao. The data is October 21, 1968. 6:31 p.m. Indian Standard Time, 5 hours 30 minutes east of GMT. The place is Pradhattur, India. 78 degrees 33 minutes east. 14 degrees 44 minutes north. Okay. So what are the events in your life?
I looked at Navamsha plus I looked at the Dashamsha for
Okay.
marriage, right? So for the marriage I looked at Navamsha and for the Dashamsha for the...
Okay. Let us take a step back and instead of seeing career breaks, new jobs, etc., let's just focus on the state of mind.
But firstly, we didn't want to discuss last time that it is applicable only to Rasi
Yeah.
and Navamsha. We don't want to...
Yeah, like I said in the last class, Sanjay ji advises using only Rasi and Navamsha along with it. Probably because this is a Dasha, the source, the state of mind, the life force that is driving the mind. And when you look at Dashamsha, Shashtyamsha, Chaturvamshamsha, etc., exactly what influence they have on the life force driving your mind is not that clear. So it is better to just look at Rasi, Nakshatra and Nakshatra Pada, which is Navamsha, to focus on the nature of the mind. So that may be why he gave that advice, but that is his advice. And in any case, like I said just a few minutes back, I don't advise looking at, okay, he got a job. When will he get a job? When is he gay? When is he getting laid off? I don't expect you to be very successful trying to look at that kind of event using Vibhagi. Were you actually successful? When you try to look at those events in Vibhagi and Mukshatri, were you happy? Honestly.
Yes, for
You were happy?
Moon Savana for a weekend I was happy.
Okay. 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 How is your career from 2004 to 2007? Moon. His Shravana Dasha, Moon Dasha corresponding to Shravana Nakshatra is running from April 2004 till September 2007. So overall during this period, how is your career? How is your mental state relating to career?
Lot of gains in that.
Had a lot of gains. Okay.
And then good position I mean.
You are in good position. At least you feel that you are in good position. Yeah. Okay.
Confident and comfortable.
Very confident and comfortable. So overall very relaxed.
Relax.
Okay. Okay. Any if you just look at the Dashamsha Chakra, how is Moon in Dashamsha? Because we looked at Dashamsha. Let us look at Dashamsha and see if his logic is good. Moon is the 11th Lord and he is in the 6th house. What would you expect in Moon Dasha? If he is in service, assuming that this is to be used just like normal Vishwadri Dasha as an alternative, he will get lot of gains, he will work hard, etc. Gains through service, okay. Anything else you can say? Okay, now let us leave that line and pursue the line that we are supporting right now, which is this Dasha basically shows your mental state. How your mind basically reacts, how your mind, what is driving your mind, what life force is driving your mind. What is the nature of Shravana Nakshatra? Who rules Shravana Nakshatra? Does anybody know? That you can find out here. I won't ask. The Devata ruling Shravanam. Do you know? Without cheating. Okay, actually cheat. Pardon me? Good guess, but it's not wrong. What? Okay. Then say Vishnu. Vishnu rules our Shravanam. Did you find the mantra of Shravanam? Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. Shravanam is ruled by Vishnu, Mahavishnu. It is Vishnu's nakshatra. Actually, you don't have to be ashamed of not knowing the devatas of all nakshatras because I also don't know all of them. Whenever a nakshatra that I know of comes, I ask you, do you know who? I also don't remember all the devatas of nakshatras. I remember only some that I have looked at in the past for various reasons. So I know that Shravana is ruled by Sri Mahavishnu. So so based on it, what can you say about the nakshatra? Is it a very fiery nakshatra, very relaxed nakshatra? What is the nature of life force represented by Shravana? Very auspicious. Shravanam, it basically takes the nature of the Mahavishnu. The life force, the force that moves the mind, takes the nature of Mahavishnu. What is the nature of Mahavishnu? Very sattvic, very still, not agitated, not perturbed. So that is the nature of Shravana Nakshatra. Vishnu is Sattva. Yeah.
Shravana Masam is same as
Yeah, Shravana Masam comes from Shravana Nakshatra. Yes.
Shravana Masam
Shravana Masam
is
is the Masam in which the full moon is likely to occupy Shravana Nakshatra.
it is very auspicious to know.
Yeah, it's a very auspicious month. Okay. So, first of all, he is under the influence of Shravana Nakshatra. What else can you say? Is that all we will say? Will we just say, okay, he is under Shravana Nakshatra's influence? Done. Is that what? Are we going to look at any nakshatras, any grahas, any points which are in Shravana? Because their results may be given when moon comes in contact with it. Is there anybody in Shravana? Do you see anybody here? There are no planets, but there is PP. Let us see if that PP, the Pranapada Lagna, is in Shravanam. It is in Shravanam. Do you see this? The Pranapada Lagna is in Shravana Nakshatra. What does Pranapada Lagna show? So Pranapada Lagna's results are given in this dasha. What is Pranapada Lagna? For me? So it is determined in this dasha that he is a Forget the use of Pranapada Lagna. The use of Pranapada Lagna is to see whether somebody is a human being or a mosquito or a fish or something. But that is only one of the uses of it. That's not what Pranapada Lagna means. What does Pranapada mean? Prana means life force. Pada means the basic. Pranapada or expression. Pada is basically expression, symbol. Pranapada means the expression, the manifestation, the symbol of life force within the person. So it is that through which the life force within you finds manifestation. It is basically that. Pardon me? That which through which your life force manifests. That means it is that which governs how lively you are basically. It is the liveliness. Pranapada Lagna shows the life energy of the person. If there are auspicious planets in Pranapada Lagna, the person will be very lively, very energetic, very positive, very optimistic. Whereas if the Pranapada Lagna is occupied by, let's say, Mars and Saturn, the person will be always very sad. Why are we alive? What is the purpose of this life? He'll be when you look at him, you will feel like, oh my God, what is this life? Why are we alive? Pardon me? Very agitated, tormented. That will be the nature of the person. You will feel when you are near such person, you will feel that negative energy. It is basically the energy of a person. When you are near a person, sometimes you feel lot of energy, lot of positive energy. When you are with some people, you feel lot of negative energy. That energy in a person is manifested so that the world around him can see it through this Pranapada Lagna. It is the manifestation of the energy within you. Prana is basically the energy. So Pranapada Lagna is the energy of the person. If you take somebody that you know has a positive energy, positive vibration around you, look at Pranapada Lagna. And also, how many of you have Brihad Parashara Horashastram? PPHS. Okay, the 4 of you who have it, look for the results from Pranapada Lagna. Find out which chapter. I will ask you which chapter the results are in. If you can't give the results, at least remember which chapter the results are in. There is a chapter in which Parashara gives the results of Pranapada Lagna, which house it is in, and in Pranapada Lagna which planets are occupied. Based on it, he gives some results. try to look at those results and see what is best about Pranapada Lagna. I mean, try to basically fit it with the understanding that we came to just now. Okay? So anyway, here Pranapada Lagna is in Shravana Nakshatra and the progress moon is in contact with Pranapada Lagna. Which means the life force will basically find full manifestation during this particular dasha in the mind. So he will be very energetic during this dasha. During the dasha of Shravana, he will be very energetic. Are there any sahamas here in Shravana? No. You already checked? Yes. Shrav, none. So there are no sahamas. There are no planets. The only thing that is there is Pranapada Lagna. So the results of Pranapada Lagna will be fully given. And in addition, let us look at this Sarvatobhadra Chakra. We haven't really done this in detail, but this is a chakra called Sarvatobhadra Chakra, in which you find all the 28 nakshatras represented. The dasha that we are using is a 27 nakshatra dasha, but what it means is when you come to Uttarashadha nakshatra, you have to split it into Uttarashadha and Abhijit. And when you cross over to Abhijit, use Abhijit instead.
What is the meaning of Sarvatobhadra?
Okay, what is the meaning of Sarvatobhadra? Sarvatobhadra is a Sanji of Sarvata plus Bhadra. What does Sarvata mean? All round. Always, all places. Sarva means all. Sarvata means in all. By all. That means in all places, in all ways. Basically all round. Bhadra means well-being, safety, well-being. Very good, very good. So Sarvatobhadra means all round well-being chart. This is a chart that shows all round well-being. This shows the influence of various nakshatras on the stations of life force. How various planets are influencing the stations of life force at a given point of time. So look at this nakshatra. Look at Shravana. So what Sanjay ji teaches is, find the Tribhagi Vimshottridasha nakshatra. Where is Shravana? I don't find it. Yeah, it's here. It's in this corner. Yeah. So see, are there any planets affecting it? Are there any planets influencing it? So here, once again, we haven't actually done this, so let me quickly define how you look at the nakshatras. They are called Vedhas. Oops. So the Vedhas are determined like this. Let me do like this. Vedhas. The word is Vedha. Vedha means, do you know what Vedha means? Pardon? Okay, good guess. What is the literal meaning of Vedha? One meaning is obstruction. What is the real meaning? Obstruction is a secondary meaning, derived meaning. The main meaning of Vedha is Vyatha, not Vyatha. Actually the word is not Vyatha. Anyway, it's Vedha. Not Veda. Veda is knowledge. Vedha. Troubling, okay. That is a secondarily derived meaning. The original meaning is not that. What is Vedha? Do you know, in the Satyanarayan Vratam, when you do the grahas, for Surya, one of the Adhyavata, Pratyadhyavata, the Adhyavata is Agni. Does anybody remember the mantra for Agni? Om Agnim Dotam Vranimahe Hotaram Vishwavedhasam Asya Yajnasya Sukratum. So one of the names of Agni there is Vishwavedhasam. He is the Vishwavedhas. Agni is Vishwavedhas. Vishwa means word. Vedhas is the one who gives Vedha to the world. So is Agni the one who gives Prabhus to the world? But, okay, that's a good guess. Now your guess is Vedha means light. What is Vedha? Vedha literally means purify, cleanse, clear. That is the real meaning of Vedha. And of course, if you want to purify something, if it's so bad, the only way to purify is burn the whole thing. So that way, Vedha also got the meaning of obstruction, spoiling. That kind of connotation came later. But the original meaning of Vedha is purification. So, the life force, these are various stations of the life force. The life force needs to be purified. various planetary influences, planets are nothing but Narayana, nothing but the Devata, they are the gods. The Rashis are the inanimate circumstances. The nakshatras are stations of life force, and planets are the Purusha, the intelligence, the supreme intelligence that is driving this universe. What does the supreme universe do to these stations of life force? Clean them, because stations of life force are unclean. By definition, the life force is unclean. If you don't have any life force that is moving things, you are better off. Because then you can remain fixed in the supreme intelligence of the world. By very nature, the life force, by making you move, it's like the supreme intelligence of the world, of this universe, is like a tranquil ocean. Whereas the life force is that which is causing ripples on the surface. So each of us is basically a small ripple on the surface of the Parabrahma. So the life force is making move. And by motion we think of ourselves as a different being. Because of this motion, the ripple starts in the ocean, and the ripple thinks, I am not the ocean, I am the ripple. Once you think, I am not the ocean, I am the ripple, you just become a ripple. You start acting like ripple. You start thinking like ripple, and you become ripple. Whereas the moment you realize that I am not the ripple, I am the ocean, you are indeed the ocean. You are not different from the ocean. The ripple is part of the ocean. But because there is that motion which is making that ripple come into being, that ripple is thinking of itself as a ripple. So from the point of view of supreme intelligence, which is represented in astrology by various grahas, from the point of view of the supreme energy, supreme intelligence, these life forces, these stations of life force represented by nakshatras are nothing but obstruction, nothing but problem, nothing but this motion. You are better off without it. So the planets basically purify the life force. They clean the life force so that you can basically transcend above it. So that is why the word Vedha is used here in the context of nakshatra. So you are, when a particular graha aspects a nakshatra, the word used for aspect in this particular case is not drishti, but the word is Vedha, purification of the life force. So the rules for that are, rules for looking at the aspects or Vedhas in this nakshatra chakra, Saradobhadra chakra are, any planet wherever it is. How many of you play chess? Most of you, that is good. You don't. You should learn chess, that will help you learn astrology better. At least, Saradobhadra chakra. If you don't learn entire chess, at least know how queen moves, okay? So, those of you who know chess, do you remember how queen moves? All directions. This way. Sorry to those who are listening to the audio, not this way. But across, horizontal, vertical, across, etc. So, the Vedha is basically like the movement of queen. So, if a planet is in Rohini, let us say, it aspects all these entities. From Rohini, it aspects this A, this flu, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, I sound, Kha sound, and Abhijit Nakshatra. And similarly, if you go across, from Rohini, if you go across backwards, you get the U sound, and then Ashwini Nakshatra. If you go forward across, you get Va, Gemini, Au, Virgo, Ra, the consonant Ra, the semi-vowel Ra, and then Swati Nakshatra. Any planet in Rohini will aspect all those things. And of course, if you have the software, you can just click and say, highlight aspects from this star. If any planet is in this star, what are the things aspected by it? So all these things that you see in green, you see them, those are the ones. Pardon me? Oh, vertical. I was just, when I said queen, I didn't really mean queen. Because if you say that, all the nakshatras will be occupied. Yeah, these are the three directions. Okay?
What is looking forward?
No, backward also. See?
Not vertical.
If it is in Rohini, it's aspecting Ashwini. But not all the surrounding nakshatras. If you say vertical also, Rohini will end up aspecting Kritika, Mrigashira, all the nakshatras. It's a little bit weird. If you say, for me, Revati, Revati will aspect, okay, let's do that. If planet, see, Shani is at Revati right now. So let us see what Shani aspects. For me? Oh, Ram. We transported ourselves to the time when he was born. He was a small baby. So, Shani in Revati in this chakra aspect, if you go vertically now, you don't go horizontally now, because then you will get all the nakshatras. Jyothishya, Purabhadra, Uttarabhadra, Ashwini. You don't do that. You go vertically, you get Cha, Eri, O, Nanda. Nanda is basically a group of Tithi. The 15 Tithis are grouped into 5 groups of Tithi. I will talk about them in detail later, but for now, just remember them as Nanda Tithi. And then Sunday and Tuesday, Varas. And Au, the vowel, Au. And then the Rashi, Leo. And then this is Ta. I just represented as T with tilde. Normal T is Ta. So this is Ta. And then Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. So these are all having the Vedha of Shani in Revati. And also the Dakara, the Da sound, Aquarius, Capricorn, the Bha sound and Mulasta. If you go backward, across. If you go forward, across from Revati, you get La, A, Mragatesha. So these are the nakshatras. See, each planet, this Sarvadobhadra Chakra represents various aksharas. It represents various tithi, various varas, various nakshatras. For all you know, Karnas and Yogas may also be there, but not available in the version that we have right now, for all you know. So it represents various entities like this. And this is one of the ways to look at the trances. And here, not only trances, what I am saying is, look at the aspects on Sevanam at the time of birth. We will do that. But
the ancient Jews, they gnomen stick. And the gnomen stick was the way the shadow went. The way the shadow went from the sun or the planet. And it looks like the Zetas are similar to the way a shadow is cast. And the two outer ones are probably limits of the shadow cast. And the direct one is the maximum. It looks like that's referring to where the shadows are cast. Right.
Perfect way to understand it. Perfect way to understand it. His way to understand it is, look at them as shadows basically. There is a light behind the station of light force that we are talking about. So there are shadows that basically draw in 3 different directions. So he's saying that these are the shadows of the planet there. And then the last nakshatras which are limiting it, they are basically what are limiting the shadows. Very, very good way to understand it.
It's a limit algorithm, and so you have the effect, like when I put my hand here, we have a limit algorithm, and the boundaries of that algorithm are the outer ones, and then the maximum is the line around.
Perfect way to understand. Perfect way to understand it. Now, only tricky thing is, there is actually, in the software if you say, look at the aspect, it shows you all. But classics have actually mentioned various degrees of aspects. I haven't programmed that in the software. But what classics say is, if a planet is going with the normal speed, the across aspects are less important. The either horizontal or vertical aspects. If a planet is in Revati, this particular aspect on Uttara Phalguni, the Revati Uttara Phalguni axis. Whereas if a planet is in Mrugashirsha, the aspects on this horizontal line, Uttarashadha to Mrugashirsha, that particular aspect is the most important aspect. There is a full aspect along that line, because the planet is going slowly, so it's aspecting what is opposite. Whereas if a planet is Vakri, going backward in retrograde motion, then the backward across line, that line will have the full aspects. The other lines have marginal aspects. You understand? Suppose a planet is in Ardra and going backward. He's going like this. He's going in the backward direction from Punarvasu to Ardra to Mrugashirsha. So he's in Ardra, but he's going backward. So his aspects on Va, Lu, Cha and Uttarabhadra. These aspects will be full. The other aspects will be only half. They will not be full. They will be partial. Do you understand? Pardon me?
Ardha Purashara will be less than
What Ardha Purashara?
Ardha will be less.
Yeah. Even Ardha Purashara is less than that. Because if I am going normally, I am going what is opposite me. If I am in a hurry to go backward, I am looking across. That's the idea. It's basically where the planet is viewing. There, the energy of the planet is directed naturally. Yeah, it's true for all charts, natal chart as well as transit chart. And now tell me, if a planet is going fast, too fast, not at its normal speed, but in Shigra Gamanam, it means going at a speed which is higher than its average normal speed. Which one will be affected most fully? The forward diagonal. So if planet is in Ardra and going forward, but not at the normal speed. In the normal speed, it will affect Purashada maximum. But if it is going very fast, it's in a hurry, so it's aspecting ahead. So then, this line, Ha, Lu, Ta, Harta, this particular line, diagonal line, forward diagonal line, gets the maximum aspect. Okay, do you understand that? But for all practical purposes, if you ignore this particular dictum, just look at all those, it will be satisfactory. Just for refinement. Pardon me? Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say one thing here. Even if it's retrograde, it is almost stationary. For all you know, you may not want to use this system. You may want to look straight. You understand? So, whether the planet is retrograde or direct, you want to look at the speed. What is the speed with which it's moving? In the software, you can click on this button, click on this menu in the longitude window and choose, what is it called? Latitude, speeds, etc. If you click that, you can find the speed. Don't look at latitude speed. We don't care. Look at the longitude speed. And the speed is what you use to find out whether the planet is moving fast or moving slowly. You are supposed to know that. You should know what is the normal speed of the planet. For example, take moon. What is the average speed of moon normally? Roughly, let's do approximate now. He takes a month to go around the zodiac. So every day he goes roughly 12 degrees, roughly 360 divided by 30. But the thing is, it's not exactly 30 days. He takes 28 days roughly. So it's 360 divided by 28. So roughly 13 degrees also. And here, right now his speed is 14.331 degrees per day. So slightly faster than usual, but not that much. You estimate. Take Jupiter for example. What is his speed, normal speed every day? Just pull up the calculator. He takes 1 year to go 30 degrees roughly. So 30 degrees divided by 360 days. So roughly 0.08 degrees per day. What is his speed right now? 0.091 degrees per day. So slightly higher, but still he is not going much faster. Very close to average speed. So like that you find out. Take Shani. What is the normal speed of Shani? He takes 2.5 years to go around one sign. Go one sign. So 30 divided by 2.5 divided by 365 days. So he takes roughly 0.03. His average speed is 0.03 degrees per day. Average speed. Now he is going backwards and he is going minus 0.073 degrees per day. So he is going backward, not only going backward, but going very fast. He is in a hurry. So in that case, you should definitely be looking backward. The backward diagonal should be used. Whereas if he is retrograde, but his speed is almost zero, he is about to become direct, you may still not want to use the dictum that I mentioned. Not look at the backward diagonal, but look across. Either across. Look horizontally or vertically.
By looking what we get.
Pardon me? Yeah, this is the next Very good question. Very good question. By looking, what do we get? We get knowledge. Now the question is, now we found out how to look at Vedhas on various nakshatras. So whether you are looking at the natal chart or the transit chart, look at the nakshatra of interest and see which planets are having Vedhas, which planets are aspecting that particular nakshatra. So those planets, the nature of those planets will modify. For example, we said Ardra. Suppose somebody's progress moon is in Ardra right now. So his mind, the life force driving the mind is that of the nature of Ardra. It has the nature of Ardra. But let's say Jupiter is aspecting it right now, or Venus is aspecting it. So the nature of Jupiter will influence Ardra. So there is an influence of Jupiter at that particular point of time, influencing the life force. So the life force driving that person's mind at that point of time has some Jovian nature. And what is the nature of Jupiter? Wise, happy, relaxed, comfortable. So it will offset the nature of Ardra to some extent. So like that we should look at Shravana. In his case it is Shravana, right? So look at Shravana. What are the Vedhas on this? Any planets having Vedha at birth? When he was born, were any planets having Vedha? On Shravana? No. Now, there are some other aspects apart from these Vedhas. There are some fixed aspects. See, this is analogous to Rashi Drishti. Do you remember in Rashi Drishti, Aries is always aspected by Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius, right? By Rashi Drishti. This is just by arrangement of the Rashi in terms of a chart. In addition, if Jupiter is in, let's say, Libra, he will aspect Aries. If Shani is in Aquarius, he will aspect Aries, right? There is a Graha Drishti, which is the desire of the planet. Similarly, in Sarvatopata Chakra also, there are some desires of the planets. Based on the desire, planets aspect certain nakshatras from them. Let me quickly look for something. One second. If somebody can volunteer and just create a small document with what I am going to pull up, that will be great. Very good. If somebody can create a small document and upload it along with the MP3 file, that will be excellent. Where is it? National Financial. I hope it not get corrupted or something. Okay, these are the aspects. You can note it down, and it is also there in Kovan, the crux of Vedic astrology, or I think it's in crux of Vedic astrology. It may be there in my book also. Yeah, first couple of pages. And in my book, if you look at the transit chapter, it will be there also. So these are basically the nakshatras aspected by planets. Sun and Moon, from the nakshatra they occupy, they always aspect the 14th and 15th nakshatras. Mars will aspect 1st, 3rd, 7th, 8th and 15th nakshatras from him. Mercury and Venus will aspect 1st and 15th nakshatras from them. There is a missing. And then Jupiter will aspect the 10th, 15th and 19th nakshatras from him. Saturn will aspect the 3rd, 5th, 15th and 19th nakshatras from him. These are the special drishtis of grahas on nakshatra. 15 is popular. Why? Good guess. Excellent. Why? It is basically the 7th house, roughly. That is why it is popular.
Use the 28
Yeah. Including Abhijit. Use the 28 nakshatras and count these nakshatras. From the nakshatra, that nakshatra will have the aspect of the planet. So this is again the desire of the planet. So if somebody can just type this particular thing as a small document and then put it on the site, on the website along with the MP3 file, that will be excellent. Otherwise, people can figure out from the MP3. So now, just like we have Rashi Drishti and Graha Drishti in the Rashi Chakra, we have Rashi Drishti and Graha Drishti in the Sarvatopata Chakra.
These are the
The planet, based on which nakshatra it is in, it has a desire to influence that particular station of life force. Okay? Certain stations of life force, it wants to influence. It wants to modify them. It wants to add its own nature to that life force. These are the additional aspects where the planet has a desire to influence. Whereas the other Vedha that we saw so far is not planet's desire, but just based on where the planet is, that's where its light is falling. Because it's here, its light is falling there. Because it's here, its light is falling there. It's analogous to Rajdrashti and Grahdrashti. One is based on where you are, you have the ability to influence there, and based on who you are, you have a desire to influence there. So that is the difference. So this chakra is basically nakshatra, like Rasi chakra. Just like we arrange Rasi in a chakra, we are arranging nakshatras in a chakra. This is basically a nakshatra chakra, the Sarvatavapati chakra. And these are basically nakshatra drishti and graha drishti, just like Rasi drishti and graha drishti that we said. Okay? So in the software you can say, yes. Sure. Sure. Okay. So now, let us see. And in the software, you can find out those things by going to basics. You can click on nakshatra aspects and latta. So click on this. You will find Sun is aspecting right now Chitra, Moon is aspecting, Sun is in Chitra, he is aspecting Uttarabhadra and Revati. Moon is in Chitra, he is aspecting Uttarabhadra and Revati. Oh, were you born on Amavasya? Oh, okay. Mars is in Purvafalguni when he was born, and he aspects Purvafalguni, Hasta, Anuradha, Jyeshtha, Shatrishak. Like that, software will give you. But you can also do this in the Sarvatavapati chakra itself. You can click on Shravanam, see if any planet aspects it. Instead of looking at that table and finding out if Shravana exists in any of the tables, you can just say, highlight Vedhas, aspects and Lattas on the star, if any. So, there is actually none. Just to illustrate, let me take something else. See, Jupiter is coming in purple, right? He is coming in big purple letters. So what this means is, in the software, Jupiter has aspect on Uttarashadha right now. So when he was born, Uttarashadha was being aspected by Jupiter. And you see moon in red, this is called Latta. There is something also known as Latta, which basically means kick. Moon is giving a kick to Uttarashadha when he was born. Each planet will be either in the forward direction or backward direction. They will be kicking one star. From the word kick itself, you can figure out that it's not an auspicious thing. It's a bad thing. So if any planet has a latta on a particular star, the planet really wants to give a good kick to that. It will basically rob that particular station of life force. So it's very undesirable. So if any planet is having latta, see, every planet will have latta on one star or the other. So that's not a big deal. But if your Janma nakshatra, the nakshatra occupied by your moon, or the nakshatra occupied by your lagna, has latta from any planet in the gochara at a given point of time, you should be careful. Whatever that particular planet represents, through those means, there can be some big disappointment. You should be very careful at this time. Similarly, if a planet has latta on your karma nakshatra, let us say, you should be careful. There can be some pressures in your career. So you should be careful at such a time. So that is the thing. In the software, you will see the nakshatra you selected in green, the nakshatras that are having Vedha in yellow, and in purple you will see the graha that is having drishti aspect, the desire to influence, and the graha that is giving a kick in red. Red is a very appropriate color. And here, pardon me? You don't have it? Oh, okay. You will soon have it. Actually, it's been there for a long time, but I think you guys have a very old version. Yeah, if you have 7.03, you will have it. Some people, actually 7.03 was given on a very Soham list also. If you guys were part of it, you would have got it. When Sanjay ji wanted a particular calculation, I added and I gave it. So some people have it. You unfortunately don't have it. I'll send you a link. The only thing is I did not make the public announcement because there are some kinks in this. Some well-working things will be slightly modified, but it may be okay. You may not be using those, but still, I don't want a lot of people to be asking me questions, and I don't have any time to support. So I did not make a public release. But anyway, going back to Shravanam, Shravanam does not have any latas. Pardon me? Yeah. Right. I don't know if that color is actually changeable. I added the ability to change all the colors, customize all the colors, but these features were added later. So I think these colors are hard-coded as of now. So if you have that version, you will get those colors. But in a future version, those who are listening to the audio a few years down the road may want to notice that the colors may be different. Okay, so in his case, there are no other influences on Shravanam. If there are any influences, basically they will modify. But you see that there are no modifying influences. So whatever Vishnu governs, that is what he gets. So overall, his state of mind during these 3 years, 3.5 years or whatever it is. During this time, 3 1/3 year, Moon Dasha, right? 3 1/3 year. So during this 3 1/3 year, whatever Shravanam shows, that will be his nature. But there is a caveat. This is in the natal chart. By transit, some planets may be influencing Shravanam right now. Right? So let us look at that. Pardon me? I'm saying in transit. By transit, right now Shravanam may be influenced by some other planet. So let us look at today's chart and look at Shravanam, see what are the influences on this. So right now actually no planets are affecting it. Dhanishta, Kritika and Magha are empty. So no planets have Vedha on Shravanam. But Shani recently moved into Ashrasha. Until now he was in Pushyami, but recently he moved into Ashrasha. So very recently Shani started having Drishti. So whatever Shravanam shows, that nature may be modified to some extent by Saturn. So what will be the nature given by Saturn? When it comes to life force, what will Saturn do to the life force? Make it a little conservative. Make him conserve his life force, not use it heavily. If a planet like Mars is affecting life force, he will make him use the life force to a large degree, which means depletion in the life force. You may think that Shani will deplete, but Shani will make you use. Here we are talking about intelligence, governing the intelligence, influencing the life force. So when the intelligence of Shani, which is that of Kurmavatara, is influencing your life force, you will use your life force very moderately, which means you will not waste your energy, you will not waste your life force. Life force will be more still. That means more relaxed. You will not be agitated, but you will be very relaxed. You may do yoga, etc. and you may conserve your life force. So for all those things, this is a good time. When Shani is aspecting your Tuthagi Nishatri Dasha Nakshatra, you can conserve your life force by doing yoga.
The point is I like yoga and join yoga class last 2 weeks.
That is good. When Shani is in Ashrasha Nakshatra, it's a very good activity to be engaging in. It will make you calm, it will relax your life force.
Started interest in the yoga.
Very good.
Not interest.
Very good. Very good. That's very good. That is very appropriate when Shani is aspecting your Sudhagi Nishatri Dasha Nakshatra. Now, was there any time when you were very agitated, very unhappy? Not last 3 years, in general, in your life. You are always happy.
I don't have anything like that.
Okay. Anybody who was agitated during a time? Perturbed, agitated. Okay. Okay, we'll take a particular time. Okay. Your data is, did I save it as Bombay Wala? No. No, I didn't. Do I have it? Subramanian. Subramanian is not there. Yeah, I have it. Why did it come when I checked for session earlier? I must have typed the letter wrong. Okay. So the data here is, we are looking at another example for education. The data is 1949 June 13, 10:52 4 a.m. Indian Standard Time, Palayam Kottai, India. 77 degrees 44 minutes east, 8 degrees 43 minutes north. Okay. Now the nakshatra occupied by moon at birth is Uttarashadha. Is it Uttarashadha or Abhijit? No, I know Uttarashadha. It shows Uttarashadha because it shows only 27 nakshatras. I am asking you, I am asking the class. Because if you have to use 28 stars, you may have to translate it. Is it Uttarashadha or Abhijit? Uttarashadha. The first pada is fully Uttarashadha. Only towards the end you get a piece of Abhijit. So it is Uttarashadha. Now, if you look at the Tribhagi Vimshotri Dasha, the first Dasha will be that of Uttarashadha corresponding to Sun. And then it is progressing. And let us look at the current Dasha. The current Dasha is Punarvasu. Actually, if you look at the previous Dasha, 96 to 2002, it is Ardra. You can expect lot of hesitation during that time. Pardon me? Okay. But you are saying that even now you are hesitated, even after 2002. And let us look at that and see why. In Ardra we can kind of expect it. We kind of expect lot of hesitation. Why in the Punarvasu? Punarvasu Dasha he is very agitated, very unhappy, the life force within him is very disturbed. Why? Let us look at that. Okay? Is there any planet in Punarvasu? Any planet in Punarvasu? Any special point in Punarvasu? Do you see any? Look at this column, nakshatra. See if you see any Puna. Do you see any Puna? Yes. Who is there? Which graha is in Punarvasu? Upagraha is there. Which upagraha? Mrityu. Who is Mrityu? Good guess. Yama. Yama is a good guess, but he is not exactly the Yama. Who is Mrityu? Son of Mars. In the Upagrahas, there is one that you derive from Sun, one from Moon, one from Mars, one from Jupiter, etc. Mrityu is the son of Mars. Kala is the son of? Kala. Sun. Kala is the son of Sun. S-U-N son of, S-O-N son of, S-U-N son. And Mrityu is the son of Mars. Arthaprahara is the son of? Anybody remember Arthaprahara? Mercury. Yamaghantaka is the son of Jupiter. Okay? And Gulika, he is actually above. Gulika is the son of Saturn. Yeah, Gulika is the son of Saturn. So anyway, there is no graha, no special point in Punarvasu. The only thing that is there is Mrityu. There is Pranasputa, okay. We don't really know how to use Pranasputa, so forget it. But Mrityu, he is an Upagraha. Can you guess the nature of Mrityu? I mean, is it auspicious or inauspicious Upagraha? Pardon me? Inauspicious. Mrityu is basically death. So when you see, when mind is under the influence of Mrityu with no other alleviating factor, basically the life force will feel as if it is dying. He will feel as though his life force within is being killed, being struck badly. So that is one negative factor that we have found. Are there any? And in general, if you find your Tribhagi Vimshotri Dasha Nakshatra having Mrityu or having even Kala is also almost like Mrityu. He is also very bad. If you find either Kala or Mrityu or Gulika there, you should be careful. During that time, you may be feeling very restless. So, in such a case, worshipping the Devata of that Nakshatra is very important. Because that life force represented by that Nakshatra is being weakened by Mrityu. Who can save it? The Devata of the Nakshatra. So, pray to Aditi. We will do Aditi's mantra in the next class because we did Jyothishya and Adra in today's class. We will do Punarvasu and Kushmi's mantra. See, because you came late, you may not have realized it, but we are doing a couple of nakshatras. In the Nakshatra Suktam, there are Vedic mantras, very, very powerful mantras for the Nakshatra Devatas. We are doing 2 mantras every class. We started last class. So in the next class we will be doing Punarvasu and Pushyami. So that mantra is very auspicious for you. So I will be reading it with the Swaram. So come to the next class on time and listen to that mantra. And also try to read that mantra. That is very, very, very good for you. Mantra for Punarvasu. It's a mantra for Aditi as the Devata of Punarvasu Nakshatra. If you read it with the Swaram, even more powerful. Even if you read it without Swaram, it is okay. But with the Swaram, it is very powerful. Veda mantras are extremely powerful. Now, and instead of reading it very fast, 108 times, you read it with the perfect Swaram very slowly. Read 11 times, you get more power, more result. So count is not important. Actually, Veda mantras, if you read with the perfect Swaram, perfect bhavam within, focusing on the right nadi centers when you are reading various akshras, of course, none of us actually knows the perfect way to read it. But if you know and if you read it perfectly, one time is enough. You get self-knowledge. That is the power of each Veda mantra. Unfortunately, we are very detached from the supreme intelligence that is within us, so we don't know all the perfect knowledge. So we are just trying our best to get close to the perfect knowledge. So first step is to read it, second step is to read it with the Swaram, third step is to read it with the Swaram and the right bhavam. Right feeling, right thought. When you are reading a particular word, certain bhava should be within you. Now, any other things, let us go to Sarvabhadra Chakra and let us see, are there any influences on Punarvasu? What are the influences on Punarvasu? Anybody aspecting it, or are there any influences? Forget moon. No, actually don't forget moon. Take moon. Because this is natal chart. I thought we were looking at transit chart, but this is natal chart. So if you look at Punarvasu, there are no Vedas on it. But there is a Graha Drishti. Who is aspecting it? Moon is aspecting it. So whatever moon shows in his horoscope, those results of moon will come into being. What does moon show in his horoscope? How is moon placed? He is the 12th lord in the 5th house. And is he a benefic or malefic? He is the Krishna Paksha Chandra. So he is malefic. He is waning moon. So the chakra, Sarvabhadra Chakra, yes? Purple moon. Purple moon is aspecting green Punarvasu. Okay. Yeah. 14th or 15th star. Would it be 14th or 15th? It's exactly opposite. So 14 are done, it will be 15. Right? Did everybody get it? This would be the 15th star summit because it's exactly opposite. So it's basically divided into two halves. Half of 28 is 14. So from Uttarashadha to Ardra will be, oh actually 1 second. No. 15th, yeah. Uttarashadha to Ardra is 14, exactly one half. So this will be 15th star. So he is aspecting it by the 15th star Drishti. So moon. So the nature of moon in the chart, that will be added to the nature of Punarvasu and added to the nature of Mrityu. Now let us look at transits. Who are aspecting Punarvasu right now? Are there any aspects on Punarvasu right now? Right now there is sun aspect, but it is only 1 month aspect. So are any long-term aspects on Punarvasu there? No long-term aspects on Punarvasu. Only long-term aspect was a while back, Shani was there. Like the second half of last year, the whole of the second half of last year, and maybe beginning of this year. Shani, the first few months of this year, Shani would have been in Punarvasu Nakshatra. So there would be some influence of Shani. But apart from that, there are no other major influences on Punarvasu. So whatever was in the natal chart, moon has a desire to influence, Mrityu is right there influencing it. So those are the only influences. So if we can control, moon is not that bad. I don't look at moon, even though he is Paksha, as a very bad influence. I look at Mrityu as a terrible influence. That is the only terrible influence. Otherwise, most other influences are either no influences or reasonable influences. So, if he strengthens Aditi by doing the Aditi mantra, he will actually be much less perturbed than he is. Most of the unhappiness, the disturbance within the mind that he feels, the disturbed motion of the mind, is because of mrityu. Secondarily because of mood, but mainly because of mrityu. Any other volunteers? Tejas, yes. Tejas speak. Yeah. I type T-A-T-H instead of J. Still the right start. Teha speak. Okay. Let us look at the chart of a young man born on 1988 May 26, 7:27:54 a.m. Indian Standard Time, Secunderabad, India, 78 degrees 30 minutes east, 17 degrees 27 minutes north. Okay. He is a very religious young man. He was brought up in US, but he decided to go back to India and read Vedas and study Vedas. So his Tribhagi Vimshatri Dasha running right now is that of Vishakha.
No, right now it is
Finished recently. The Tribhagi Vimshatri Dasha, in which he was very unhappy with what he was doing and decided to go back to India and study Vedas. All this happened during Vishakha's Dasha. Jupiter Dasha corresponding to Vishakha. Okay. Who is the Devata of Vishakha? Please cheat and find out. No, I mean the Devata. I don't remember, unfortunately. Vishakha. For me? Yeah. Vishakha, I think, is Swati. Vishakha. Yeah. Yeah, operational insurance. I completely agree. I agree. What? Here it says Indra and Agni. Pardon me? But the mantra says Indra and Agni. Vishakha, the mantra says Indra and Agni. I have to refer to my sources, but as per the mantra here, especially it says Indragni, it is Indra and Agni. Yeah. First chapter, right? Mitra, okay. Mitra, okay. So Vishakha is ruled by Mitra. Who is Mitra? What? It's one of the Aditya, one of the forms of sun. Yes. One of the Adityas. Mitra is one of the 12 Adityas. Mitra and Varuna, they are very ancient devatas. In the Veda mantra, more than Vishnu, Shiva, etc., you find Mitra and Varuna played to very often. Mitra and Varuna. So, is it an auspicious nakshatra or inauspicious nakshatra? It's a very auspicious nakshatra. Mitra is ruled by Mitra. Mitra and Varuna are very traditional devatas. And the nakshatra, it is a nakshatra ruled by Mitra and also a nakshatra ruled by Jupiter. So Vishakha is a very auspicious nakshatra. And who are the planets influencing it here? Are there any planets in Vishakha nakshatra? No planets. But let us see if any Upagrahas or anybody is here. Keep looking for Visha. Anybody in Vishakha? Artha Prahara is in Vishakha. Who else? That's it. Artha Prahara is in Vishakha. What does Artha Prahara show? Who is Artha Prahara? He is son of Mrtyu. Is he auspicious or inauspicious? He is auspicious. What is his nature? So, son of Mrityu, the son of Mars, his nature is to kill, just like Mars. Artha Prahara's nature is that of Mercury. Artha, okay. You are going from the point of view of meaning. Let's approach from two points of view. One is Mercury's son. So from that point of view we can approach. Second approach is from the meaning. Artha Prahara. So what is it? What is it mean? Yeah. Artha means meaning, purpose. Yeah. Money. Pardon me? Yeah. Okay. Boundary. Okay. Pardon me? One of the meanings of Prahara. It's from the Sanskrit word.
Prahara is hitting.
Hara means basically to kill, to stop, to deprive. Prahara means in a well done way to stop basically. So it's basically something that delineates something. Prahara means delineating, differentiating something from something else. That's what Prahara means. That is the real meaning. And one of the meanings, like you said, is compound wall of a house. If you have a boundary or a compound wall of a house or a boundary or if you have a circle or something like Parichi. In that context also Prahara is used. But the real meaning of Prahara is to distinguish from something, to differentiate things. So Artha Prahara, what would it mean? Artha is meaning or purpose. Of course money also, but that is secondary meaning. So primary meaning is purpose, meaning. So Artha Prahara means that which basically he who separates the purposes. He understands, basically it's an understanding of various meanings and purposes, differentiating between things. So it's very rajasic. Because separating between things is rajasic. And of course Mercury is a rajasic graha. So it's very rajasic, but it's basically understanding things, understanding the relative meanings of various things. So it's basically higher understanding. That's what Artha Prahara symbolizes. And naturally he is the son of Mercury. And Mercury is the planet of learning. So it is his son. So he has to facilitate his father. Being his son, he has to take on the nature of his father and facilitate the work of his father. And how will you learn? By differentiation, by distinguishing between various things. This is this, but this is this. This is Vinchotri, this is Puthagi Vinchotri. This is Chandra, this is Ragna. Like that we distinguish between various things and understand. So the distinction between various things is the domain of Artha Prahara. So moon is in the nakshatra occupied by Artha Prahara. What would be the result of that? Would it be positive or negative, auspicious or inauspicious? It will be positive. So it means the person will basically balance various things and draw conclusions. Right or wrong, we don't really know. But he will balance various things, find meaning and distinguish the meaning of various things. and the learning process basically will happen. And will moon be under the influence of Hathaprahara towards the beginning or towards the end of the dasha? He is in the fourth pada. He is actually, if you look at the degree, basically out of 13 1/3 degree, he is basically 12 1/3 degree gone, right? No. He's at 1 degree. So basically 10 degree plus 1 degree, 11 degrees. If you look at from the beginning of the Vishakha Nakshatra, if you look at this longitude, you do the math at home. You will realize that he is 11 degrees advanced in Vishakha. So 11 out of 13.33. How much is it? Roughly 82%. 82%. Okay, for me? Yeah. Yeah. Left. So that is why I removed 2 degree 20 from 1320. I got 11. So 11 out of 13.33 is 0.82. So out of how many years of dasha? Yeah, 16 divided by 3. So 5.3. So times 5.33. So it is roughly 4.4 years. So 4 years and 4 months or 5 months. 4 years, 4 months, around 4 years, 4 months for the beginning of this dasha, which is 2004 October. So around 2004 October time frame, Arthaprahara, moon will be directly, the progress moon will be exactly on the longitude of the sun of Neptune, the sun of the planet of learning. So at that time, so results may start a few months earlier and continue for a few months late, but that is the peak point. So around that time, the focus of the mind will be on learning, how to learn, what is the meaning of this learning, what is the meaning of this, what is the meaning of that, how to learn. So his focus is really on learning. The mind is very eager to learn. Now let us look at the transits at that time. How are the transits at that time? Let me close this window. For me? Yeah. I'm just using another chart. When should we see the transits? Let's say last October, let us see. October 2004, let's say. What are the influences on Vishakha at that time? What are the influences on Vishakha? Moon, we don't really care. We don't really care about moon at all because we are looking at transit and moon changes every day. So we don't really care about moon. So basically there are no major influences. But do you realize one influence? Where is Ketu? Swati. And he is moving backwards. So before the time that we were looking at, if you look a few months before or maybe the previous 1.5 years roughly, because he must have recently come into Swati. So he was in Vishakha for a while. When was he in Vishakha? Let us find. Let us say 2004 beginning. Was he in Vishakha? Let us find. Yeah, he was in Vishakha. In 2004 beginning he was in Vishakha. Where was he in Vishakha? He was at 23 degrees. Let us find out whenever he entered Vishakha. Now let us find when Ketu, or let us find the date after, when Ketu left Vishakha, let us find. Oh, Nakshatra, actually we want Nakshatra, right? When Ketu left Vishakha, let us find. He left Vishakha Nakshatra on March 2004. So before that he was in Vishakha. How long is Ketu in Vishakha roughly? He is in each Rashi for 1.5 years. He is in each Nakshatra for how long? How many Nakshatras is one Rashi? 2 1/4. So it's basically 1 over 2 1/4 of 1.5 years. 1 over 2 1.5. So 1.5 divided by 2.25. So roughly 2/3 of a year. So roughly 8 months. So the 2003 is ending and the beginning of 2004. During that time, his he was still running Vishakha Nakshatra's Dasha, and Vishakha had the transit of Ketu. So because of that, his mind, the life force basically that is driving his mind, is strongly under the influence of Ketu. What is the influence of Ketu? What should influence of Ketu show? Pardon me? Vedas and also detachment, moksha. His life force wants to basically be done with it. Ketu basically wants him to be done with it so that he gets moksha. So Ketu basically wants to cut all the bonds. So because that Ketu was transiting in Vishakha, in my opinion, those 8 months are very important. Some decisions may have happened later, a year later, but I view those last few months of 2003 and the beginning of 2004 as a crucial period when to instigate the action. He may have taken the step later, but his mind was basically driven by the forces of moksha, the forces of spirituality, the forces of Vedic knowledge, pursuing Vedic knowledge. So those forces must have really taken hold of him in 2003-2004. So this person in 2004, middle of 2004 or so, he decided, he made the decision, but probably things were brewing within his mind a few months earlier.
Yeah, but for instance, the last year was the 10th grade.
Yeah.
2003 September 8th.
Yeah.
2004. Luckily, we never touched the book at home.
Mm-hmm.
So let us go to the homework and get in that to the book.
Yeah.
Then we go to the book and no current homework.
Yeah.
That is the kind of.
Yeah. Those are the actions. He was basically.
The actions are driven by the mind.
That's what I'm going to say. That's what I was going to say. So, leaving his pant and shirt, wearing traditional clothes and meditation, doing sadhana rather than read his book. Basically, do whatever homework he has to do, and after that, do whatever sadhana he wants to do or whatever contemplation he wants to do, and wear those traditional dresses, etc. This is action. But behind this action, there is some mental the motion of the mind. Mind is being moved in a particular way. Because of which he is taking that action. And that motion of the mind is seen from this dasha, and we see that is under Vishakha's influence and Ketu's influence. And Mitra and Varuna, they show a lot of rituals, etc. Vedic rituals, etc. So Vishakha Nakshatra, even though Purvabhadra, Punarvasu and Vishakha, all these are nakshatras ruled by Jupiter, when you are talking about Vedic rituals, etc., Vishakha is a more auspicious nakshatra. Whereas Punarvasu is just that of happiness and all the good qualities taking birth within it. Mm-hmm. So you are saying that when the Vishakha extends in the 6th house as well as 7th house, the 8th from Arudha as well as 9th from Arudha. 9th from Arudha which has moon and also A9, and the trine from Arudha Lagna. So you are saying that when the 4th quarter of the Vishakha starts, that is when the action basically would have started. Yeah. This is transit chart. Yeah. But you are looking at the natal chart. Okay, he is same argument. Good. Everybody got that point? His Narayan's point is, he did not. Okay, Narayan's point is, we are talking about Vishakha. We are talking about Ketu being in Vishakha. But apart from it, Vishakha extends between two different Libra and Scorpio. In last class I mentioned that some nakshatras extend between two different rasis. I gave another example also last class. When a nakshatra changes from one rasi to another rasi, you expect big changes in life. If there are going to be big changes, they happen on those boundaries. And here, from Arudha Lagna, this is the 9th house. The previous one was 8th house. Whereas this is the 9th house from Arudha Lagna. So, when the 4th part of this dasha started, when is that roughly? This is basically 5 years, 4 months. So roughly 5 times 12, 64 months. So roughly 16 months. The last 16 months, you see, 2004 June or so. From then onwards, the fourth quarter started. So basically, progress moon was in Vishakha in Vrittika. In the sixth house from Lagna, it is basically overcoming obstacles, working hard, etc. And the ninth house from Arva Lagna. So basically doing some dharmic manifestation relating to dharma. So you can expect some important changes in life. So like this, you look at your Vibhagi Vimshatri Dasha that is running at a given point of time. See what are the influences on that nakshatra in the natal chart as well as transit chart. Which is more important? Grahadrishti more important, or being in that nakshatra more important, or aspecting that nakshatra, Vedha more important? What would be your guess? Being in that nakshatra is that takes the cake. That is the number one. Then, is Vedha more important or Drishti, the desire-based Drishti, the count-based Drishti? Which is more important? Vedha is more important from the point of view of the planet has the influence. Whether it likes it or not, it has the influence. Whereas the Grahadrishti is basically just a desire. Just because it has a desire, it may or may not be able to influence. So that is secondary. The primary is Vedha. Secondarily, it is the desire. And finally, if you see Lata on your Vibhagi Vimshatri Dasha, nakshatra, from any planet, be careful. Whatever areas of life, whatever attitude is shown by that particular Graha, relating to that attitude, there may be a big mishap. So you have to be careful during that Dasha. But irrespective of it, the bottom line is, that nakshatra is very vital. That is what is driving your mind at that particular point of time. So praying to the devata of that nakshatra is always very, very important. It is very, very auspicious. Okay? So with that I will end for today. We will do Vibhagi Vimshatri Dasha for another class before moving on. So please take your own chart and look at Vibhagi Vimshatri Dasha and try to analyze. And come back to the next class if you are confused, so that the class can either help you remove your confusion or share your confusion. So bring the example to the next class. By the way, next week is actually Christmas. Next weekend, next Sunday. So do you guys want to have class or no? How many of you want to have the class? How many of you say that we must have the class next Sunday? No, I'm saying I come to that also. How many of you say we must have the class? Yeah. How many of you say we must have the class? Pardon me? You are in Brazil. Okay. I will come to that also. How many of you must have class? Nobody. How many of you would like to have the class if possible? Okay. How many of you would not like to not have the class if possible? 2. How many of you definitely don't want the class because you are in Brazil or somewhere? Okay. There are 3 people who don't want to have the class, and there are few people who prefer not to have the class. So we will take Christmas off. Let's enjoy. Pardon me? Oh, next week is New Year.
New Year definitely will have class.
Why?
It's a good beginning for us.
We don't care about this. New
Year is different from our moon.
Okay. Have a good vacation. Yeah, I will read it now. Okay? I will read Punarvasu now. We will continue from Pushmi in the next class. So I will read the mantra of Punarvasu. And you can listen to the audio later and practice it and try to get the swaram, get the ups and downs, and start practicing it. In the beginning, you will not get a hang of it. It will be very awkward. The ups and downs, the durations will be very awkward. Feel free. These are Veda mantras. You are not doing them with any bad intention. So you will not be punished. So just keep practicing. Eventually you will get it perfectly. Okay? This is a mantra for the Punarvasu star. This is a mantra for Aditi as the Devata of Punarvasu Nakshatra. Om Punarno Devyaditi Sprunotu Punarvasu Nah Punaretam Yajnam Punarno Deva Abhiyantu Sarve Punah Punarvo Havishayajama Yevana Devyaditiranarva Vishwasya Bhattri Jagata Pratistha Punarvasu Havisha Vardhajanti Priyam Deva Namapye Krupatha. So we will not have the class on Christmas, also for the New Year. Merry Christmas to those of you who enjoy Christmas, and Happy New Year to those of you who celebrate the New Year. So the next class will be on January 8th. The next class will be next year. So enjoy the rest of the year. We will meet on January 8th, and by that time don't do the homework now. If you do it, you will forget. So after the New Year comes, then sit down on January 2nd if you have the day off, and then do the homework. But I expect, because there is such a long time, I expect all of you to at least do some analysis based on your own Tribhagi Vimshati Gatha. You are an exception. I will give you an exception. Others must do it. Okay? So with that I will end today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pardon me?
Josh is the only